I've been using Roam about a year and a half, and I've accumulated more than 500 to-dos, which I never really got around to doing. It was intimidating to look at 500 backlinks on my to-do page, and it even getting to the point of being slow to load. So my workflow, which I'm going to show today, is centered around a tool, a JS plugin called Encanto, and the basic idea is that it pulls in a to-do randomly. So that's what I can do, and instead of worrying about what to tackle on a list of 500, I'm just doing one at a time. Oh, hello, artifact of import. So the keyboard shortcut Alt-I will pull in a random block, and I like to center these around, not center them, but embed them under a time so I can keep organized on my daily page. So I can shift click into this. The great thing is that I can see what my context is, and usually, especially now, I try to make to-dos only within the context of like something I'm actually doing, so that I know what is interesting about it, why I care about that to-do. In this case, I wasn't really doing that. This was from the end of 2020, and I still think this is pretty exciting, so I'm going to go ahead and dig into this a little bit and pause the video, and I'll be back in a minute. So what I end up doing is actually just reading the Wikipedia article and kind of getting myself set up to dive into this paper, which obviously is fairly technical. So I added space repetition cards with some of the major takeaways on that article, and that will start showing up in my Roam SR. Then I kind of felt my attention waning, so I didn't start into the paper, but I added a link to the to-do item, and that's that. So something I can do now is use Encanto's snooze feature. That's Alt-S, and maybe I'll give it a week so some of these cards kind of sink in before it comes back up again. And you can see also, like, this is something that I previously snoozed, and it's kind of annoying actually that it shows up here because I don't want it to really take my attention. But obviously, since the snooze date has passed, I can just delete that and it will go into the general pool of to-dos. The last feature of Encanto is the priority. So if I have a new to-do, then that's all it takes. Now it's going to be in this pool of randomly selected to-dos. But if it's something that's important, then I'm going to make it more likely to show up using priority. And the priority is just P, hashtag P followed by a number. And the higher the number, it's just basically the number of copies that is into that random pool. So I typically use, if it's something I really want to get done, I use 100. And if it's something that like I absolutely have to do the next time I sit down, then I use 1,000. And everything else I just like am kind of excited to do in a short term. I use somewhere between like 10 and 50. So let's see, if I set it to 1,000, then in all likelihood it's going to show up here most of the time. But not doing that, so check it off, and now it should not show up at all. Cool.